Buddy, in today's episode, I'm going to talk about an important subject. Okay, an important thing. I faced a problem about studying. Okay, my problem was studying. Is that um at the beginning of engineering, I got into engineering, so the curriculum is so huge, and the studying and the material that needs to be memorized is so huge. So there is so much complicated techniques that I need to use in order to memorize all of the things. Okay, at the past, when I was young, spaced repetition works well. Okay, because there was no much memorization on the curriculum and the courses that we have got. But now at engineering, it is completely different. Okay, and there is a huge problem, which is forgetting the information. I always forget information. I go to the class, listen to the lecture, understand, go back. Okay, but the problem is that I forgot half of the information in the next day, then 70% of the information in the week later, and all of the information 1 month later. And when I go back at the phase of revision and exams, I study it like I never seen it before, like the first time I have seen this information. So the problem is, why did I do this? Why I go to the class in the first place? Why I just studied and forgot it in the first place? What is the meaning of doing these previous things? Why the information doesn't stick to my mind? This was the problem with me. Okay, this is the problem. What makes an information sticks to my mind, and what makes an information doesn't stick to my mind? So I searched a lot of YouTube videos out there that talk about the things, that talk about how to memorize. You can just type how to memorize in your keyboard, and there is a lot of search out there. And I have seen a lot of videos about, yeah, there are three common things that this suggests. Okay, the first is flashcards. Okay, the second is spaced repetition system. Okay, and the third, and it is less common between them, and it is like using hints and using acronym like songs, like making music about thing, and like these things. Okay, memory palace techniques. Okay, these things that they suggest all of the videos. Okay, these are the common things. But my problem with these techniques, they don't work for me, or they don't get me the results that I want. Okay, or the studying doesn't work like this. It doesn't. I always try to implement this. I grab my book, I try to put everything in the flashcards, I try to memorize tons and tons of flashcards, and there is too much okay, there is pros and there's cons, but there's advantages and there's disadvantages. The disadvantages there is so huge. Okay, I will get you with every single technique. For example, flashcards. When I got into college, at my first term, there is too many books. Okay, 7 books, every book like 200 pages. How can I use flashcards in these? It is so hard. It is not applicable. The technique is good. Okay, actually the technique is talking about you have a card, okay, you write a question or anything, and in the back you have the answer, and you just revise this every single day, or you put it in the program Anki, and he will try to revise it with you with a later system. Okay, but the problem is for every single flashcard you put, okay, you have to revise this 3 to 5 times, okay, and the amount of flashcards that you have to put will increase dramatically, okay. 1 or 2 flashcards will not be enough, okay. You need 50 flashcards for a subject, okay, or for a chapter, for example. And if you do this for every single topic that you have, you will end with thousands of flashcards, and you have to revise this every single day, and it is actually time consuming. Really, it is. I don't know who using this, okay. Are you really using this technique, guys? Okay, once I, like, 1 week, and oh, this technique is not going to work. I know this, okay. So the second technique is spaced repetition, okay. There is tons and tons of videos that talk about this, okay, and it have some similarities with flashcards, but it is all about you study this at today, you study it again 2 days later, you study it again 1 week later, and like that. The problem with this technique is it doesn't give me how to study well, okay. It just gives me some time when to study well, okay, when to study. It gives me the timing. It doesn't actually go through studying. And the third technique, which is memory palace and these little tricks, oh guys, no, it doesn't work, guys, no. And this what makes all the videos on YouTube fail when they talk about studying, okay. The problem is that they are taking information from each other and copying this information, okay, and then try to implement it at their studying or something, and then they publish it in the videos, and they like, yo, this is it. No, most of them is not even have good grades, okay. Most of them doesn't even have the grades that you wanted, okay. Maybe have high grades, but does they wanted this grade, or they wanted more higher, okay. So what is the solution? I mean, okay, what is the solution? The solution is complicated, and learning actually is complex, and it differs from someone to another, okay. And there is too much theory and too much research out there about studying theories, about learning theories, but I will just try to take you a step-by-step approach in order to improve your studying and in order to improve your metacognition. Metacognition means you're thinking about thinking. You're thinking about how you think it. Like, I will give you some ways to know if you are good or bad at studying, okay. This is a skill that I want you to improve, not give you the technique and you should implement this. No, I will try to improve you at the knowledge of how to study, okay. So for the first thing that you have to understand, we discussed this in the previous episode about fundamental techniques of studying, about you studied too many times, and you studied each time you studied in a different way, and you try to retrieve this and revise this. Okay, so there is something that's called the curve of learning, or the curve of forgetting. Okay, the curve of forgetting is so simple. Okay, and it is like that. The first time you study something, okay, you forget half of the information, okay, after one day. Okay, like half of the information 1 day later. 1 week later, the information will drop for 70%. 1 month later, it is barely there. Okay, and so on and so on and so on. So that is the problem with forgetting curve, is over time the information drops and the information go away. Okay, and how to fix this curve? How we usually fix this curve? We fix it. We try to fix it with like flashcards. We After 1 day we try to revise this one time, so the curve go up, and the second day we revise it. 3 days later we revise it. So for every drop there is like an up, for every down zero up, for every down zero up. This is how we fix the forgetting curve, but it doesn't mean that this technique is good. Okay, the second problem, or the second thing that we need to understand, is there is something that is called Schrödinger effect, or I don't know how to spell it. Okay, just pronounce it how you pronounce it. Schrödinger effect or something. And it says, at the beginning, if you don't know something about something, okay, if there is a field that you don't know even thing about it, and I just tell you some information about this field, okay, like chess, I learned you how the pieces move, you will feel like, oh my god, I am so confident about myself, I know how to play chess now. But the problem here is you are not even near from beginner. Okay, this confidence that you have is so high at this point of time, but once you try to learn more, the curve goes down, okay, and goes down more, and you will feel like, oh my god, there is a lot of things I don't know that I don't know. Okay, at the beginning, okay, you oh my gosh, okay, when you go down to the things that you don't know, and you will try to know more and know more. Oh my gosh, I didn't know that there's a lot of things that I don't know, okay, at this phase. So then you will try to improve. Okay, when you go down in the lowest point, you will try to go up and go up and go up, and then you will have some confidence. The confidence will go, the confidence will raise itself, will rise, and you will understand that there is things that you don't know, but you know you don't know. Okay, there is a difference, because at the beginning you think you know everything, but here you know what you don't know. There are things you know. Yeah, I'm bad at this. Okay, I don't know this, but you know that you don't good at this, or you don't know these things at the first place. But at the beginning you don't even know that these things were existed in order to learn them. Okay, so after then the curve go high and high, and you know what you know and everything. And this is a Donald Kruger effect, like they say it. And this something that you need to consider, because when you try to learn the psychology of information or knowledge of studying, of learning, it is so complicated. Okay, there is something important also: learning versus studying. What is the difference? Learning is what happens into your mind. Okay, if I studying is the act of learning. It is the act of, like, if I grab a book and I just smash this book into my head, I am studying. Okay, if I just stay with the book and stare at it like 4 hours, I am doing the act of studying. But learning, it is how these information in the book get into my mind. Okay, this is the way, and this is the difference. Okay, so this is the difference. If I just smash the book into my head, and maybe I will try to read some notes in the go, and this is my technique of learning, maybe, but this is not an effective technique at all. It is so bad. Okay, so you have to consider this difference. Maybe there's a lot of students study for 20 hours, for 10 hours, for 8 hours, but that doesn't mean that they are learning 8 hours straight or 12 hours straight, because learning is so effortful. Okay, it consumes some calories from your mind. You have to consider this. You have to understand this so much. Okay, the last theory that I need you to know for this episode and for this lesson is higher order learning. And there is too much research about this theory. It is what is called the Bloom's taxonomy, and they have like remembering at the lowest level, memorization I mean, and understanding, applying, analyzing information, evaluating the information, and creating the information. Okay, so the more you go up and up in this the more you go up and up in this taxonomy, the more you are mastering this topic. Okay, if I were in the memorization, understanding, applying phase, you are in the low order of learning. But if you are evaluating and analyzing and creating knowledge, you are in a higher order of learning and higher order knowledge. So what you need to understand, that the more you go up in this taxonomy, the better you are. Okay, the more master you are. And what is more important, that if you are in the higher order learning, you will be good at the lower order learning along the way. There is too much complicated things. I'm so sorry. I dive deep into this. I will try to clarify this more into the next episodes. Try to get everything as simple as possible. So there is too much theory that you will need to understand, and too much. So I'm so happy to be with you today. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, have a comments below. I read all the comments. Thank you so much for listening, and goodbye.